in my vehicle, fingers tightly clasping the steering wheel, and lips quivering from his whispered words. "Heather, I love you." It wasn't my husband, but my therapist who had been tasked with mending me. Instead, he had unwound me. The disheartening part? I allowed it. I let him penetrate a corner of my heart that my husband hadn't touched in years. I justified it as not betrayal, but deep down I knew better. As I looked at myself in the mirror, tear-streaked face and shaking breath, I acknowledged the truth. I had overstepped the boundary, the line between recuperation and ruination. And surprisingly, the part of me that should have urged flight, murmured stay. Now I had to make a choice. Return home to the man I pledged my love or remain entangled in the arms of the one who finally saw me. Before proceeding, I'd like to express gratitude to everyone who subscribed to this channel. You are the driving force behind my courage to share these tales. To all new and returning viewers who haven't subscribed yet, thank you for being here. Please click the subscribe button. It powers this channel and provides the motivation for me to continue sharing stories that matter. Don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and pass it on to someone who might benefit from hearing it. Now let's go back to where it all started. My name is Heather, I live in Newark, Delaware, and until a few months ago, I was hiding my inner pain behind a smile. Vernon, my husband of 15 years, was a hard-working man on paper, but his emotional range was as limited as drywall. For years, I had pleaded with him to acknowledge me, understand me, and communicate with me. His response was always the same. "You're just too sensitive, Heather." Following our second miscarriage, something within me shattered. I didn't feel like talking to friends, painting, or laughing. I felt like a ghost walking among the living. In a seldom effort to mend an emotional issue, Vernon suggested I seek therapy. This is how I crossed paths with Seth. His eyes were soft, his hair salt-peppered, and he spoke like rain on a window. From our initial meeting, I felt secure, perceived. He didn't merely listen, he recalled. He regarded me as if I mattered. Gradually, I leaned towards him more than was proper. Initially, it was small signs, an extended session here, a compliment there. But eventually, I found myself dressing for him, preoccupied with him between sessions, jotting down words in my journal that I never voiced aloud. One damp Tuesday, I cracked. I wept about Vernon once more. Seth shifted from his seat to sit beside me on the couch. "Heather," he whispered gently, "you deserve love as abundant as the love you offer." His hand sought mine. I didn't withdraw. Then his thumb traced my cheek. And our faces were too near, too warm, too risky. I could have halted it. Should have prevented it. Yet his lips upon mine triggered my heart to deceive me. In that instant, I experienced more than I had in a long while. Not yearning for physical passion, nor carnal desire. Instead, an intense form of closeness that resembled the relief after drowning. Exiting the office, I trembled. Rushed towards my vehicle as if not myself. And seated there, remorse seeped in like fog. I had a husband anticipating me at home. Yet I wasn't certain if I wished to return. Should I disclose this indiscretion? Should I flee from this error before it deepens? Or have I plunged too deep already? That night, sleep eluded me. I lay beside Vernon, his breaths rhythmic and oblivious. As my thoughts echoed through the stillness, he reached for my hand in slumber once. I flinched, not out of hate, but because I could not recollect the last time I craved his touch. The following day, I gazed at myself in the mirror and murmured, "You are not that woman. You don't engage in actions like this." Yet I was. And I had. And I repeated it again. Initially, nothing outwardly changed in our next meeting. Seth and I feigned normality. His hands remained folded, his voice remained professional. Yet the air between us was electric. Every gaze lingered, and each silence resonated. After 2 weeks, I confided in him about my confusion, revealing that I'd never felt so understood, but my heart was fractured in places my husband couldn't perceive. Seth responded, "You are not shattered. You were merely overlooked for too long." Tears streamed down my face as he embraced me. Once more we overstepped boundaries, not physically but emotionally. He admitted his feelings for me. In that moment, I had no reason to doubt them. Our secret meetings outside sessions commenced, a coffee shop in Dover, a bookstore in Middletown. They were always discreet and brief, but they were enough to make me struggle to breathe normally when I returned home. Eventually, Vernon picked up on the change. "You seem different lately," he commented one evening at dinner. "More distant, quieter. Is everything okay?" I nodded, lying, fine. I smiled. After I left to weep in the restroom, it was then Tracy, my friend from high school, approached me. We were at Iron Hill Brewery having lunch when she drew near and asked, "Heather, who is that man?" My thoughts halted. "Don't pretend ignorance," she added. "Aren't you aware of the expression in your eyes? You are infatuated. And it's not with Vernon." I confessed. I told her everything, the meetings, the kisses, the declarations. She stared at me as if I had burned down my own house. "That man is your therapist. Have you any idea how improper that is?" I was aware, but I couldn't shake off the feelings he stirred within me. Like a beacon in someone's darkness instead of perpetually being Vernon's shadow. "He told me I am his first real connection in years," I confessed. Tracy shook her head in disapproval. "Heather, that isn't love. That's emotional manipulation." I wanted to despise her for saying it, but a part of me questioned. Was she right? One evening, Vernon discovered something. Tucked inside one of my art journals, a forgotten note revealed itself upon entering the kitchen where he stood, holding it silently. His tone was low as he questioned, "Who is Seth?" A sudden dryness gripped my throat, and in that instant, all seemed to crumble. I had taken such care to keep quiet, but the truth, hidden like a snake, surfaced at last. Facing someone after they uncover the evidence that validates their deepest dread. What transpires when love, remorse, and treachery collide? Vernon gripped the note as though it was ablaze. His hands did not tremble, neither did his voice escalate. Yet his eyes, they were not the eyes of an enraged man, but rather a broken one. I had never witnessed him weep before, not at his father's funeral nor when we lost our child. But now, standing in our kitchen under the soft, yellow sink light, tears trickled down his face. And there, I could not join him in tears. Instead, he looked at me as though seeking a long-lost friend. The way he hoped it wasn't so, yet I remained silent because it was precisely as it appeared. The note, hastily scrawled by Seth after our bookstore meeting, was tucked into my hand. It read, "You bring a semblance of humanity to me. Yours forever, Seth." Vernon inquired about the duration. I disclosed the truth, not out of desire, but due to an obligation. He sighed, nodded, and departed, leaving behind no luggage, no angry words, just the sound of the front door opening and closing. I fell to the floor, feeling empty for the first time in this convoluted narrative. The affair, if you could call it that, ended swiftly within days. Tracy advised me to report Seth. I did so, but it felt like another betrayal. This time, however, I was informing on the man I believed I loved. Seth lost his license, his office closed, and just as quickly, he vanished from Delaware, without an apology, without a farewell. Recently, I've begun therapy again, this time with a woman named Diane. Unlike before, she didn't pat my hand or make me feel special. Instead, she made me accountable for the damage I inflicted. She helped me confront the fractured pieces of myself that were present even before Seth came into my life. Vernon no longer returned. We completed the divorce papers silently. He never shouted, never asked why. I think he already understood. Before he left permanently, he said to me, "You were suffering, Heather." I didn't realize how profound it was at the time, but he saw it. He used it. Those words lingered with me. Despite my desire to believe it was love, deep within, I knew it wasn't. It was a need, not affection. Need is an emptiness. I pursued something forbidden in search of feeling alive. In the end, all I felt was isolated. Healing doesn't stem from validation. It doesn't come from stolen moments or secretive vows by someone who isn't yours. Rebuilding isn't driven by a quest for love, but for tranquility. I yearned to be deserving of affection. Yet, what I demonstrated was just how much I was ready to endure to flee the void within me. Now I am reconstructing not for love, but for serenity. Since serenity never asks you to deceive or betray. It doesn't originate from violating boundaries set to safeguard you. Thank you for accompanying me through this tale. Were your feelings towards it love or manipulation? Have you ever confounded attention with healing? Share your thoughts below. I read each one diligently. And if this narrative stirred emotions within you, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your backing is invaluable. Until our next encounter, remain truthful with yourself and stay secure.